You are listening to the Coach's Corner Show on KYNT, Yankton's home team. Now, let's get you caught up on Yankton High School athletics with KYNT Sports Director and the voice of the Bucks and Gazelles, Bryce Ladwig.
And good morning. This is the Coach's Corner. Bryce Ladwig along with you from our studios at 1019 Broadway Avenue. Let's get caught up on Yankton High School athletics. Check in on the Bucks and Gazelles coaches of your favorite sports. Thank you again for joining us. All coaches that aren't in studio today join us on the Pizza Ranch phone line. And they're all pre-recorded from earlier in the week. But we have the majority of the coaches for actually most sports, but all football here this morning, and that will be the first thing that we talk about. Last night at Creighton Youngworth Field, a battle of two of the top teams in Class 11 AA. It was Pierre defeating Yankton 27-14, and don't let the final score fool you. It was tied with like 7 minutes left in the game. It was a classic matchup and a very good and fun game to call as well. And I'm looking forward to talking about it with our coaches here this morning. We'll get started off with Coach Brady Muth and Coach Justin Olson, head coach and defensive coordinator of the Yankton Bucks. And then we'll start going down by position groups into JV Bucks football as well as 9th grade Bucks football. And then we'll keep going on down the sports across all of Yankton High School athletics. I'm Bryce Ladwig, the KYNT Sports Director and the voice of the Bucks and Gazelles. Thank you for joining us. This is the Coach's Corner. We'll be back after this break.
When I'm searching for adventure, I find it on the range. Archery challenges me to be curious, see opportunity, and welcome big challenges. It teaches me to focus and never quit until the last arrow hits. Archery allows me to show my spirit at Mount Marty University. How do you show your adventurous side? Schedule your campus visit to Mount Marty University at showyourspiritmmu.com.
FNBO is the great big small bank, and for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
Hello, here's to welcoming moments, big and small, embracing the unexpected, savoring life. At Avera, our nationally recognized health system will be right here with you, ready for anything. We listen to your goals and help you achieve them with care and coverage. We'll move you forward through sickness and health and every milestone in between. Avera, moving health forward. Learn more at avera.org/forward.
Truxedo is proud to have been part of the Yankton community since its start in 2000.
One of the things I love most is that they believe in promoting from within. I've been given many opportunities to advance.
Truxedo has an extensive variety of benefits available to their employees.
The work environment at Truxedo is extremely positive.
We are looking for you to join our production team. Visit www.truxedo.com/careers to apply.
All right, good morning. Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. We will talk Yankton Bucks football. As I mentioned earlier, Yankton fell to Pierre last night 27-14 at Creighton Youngworth Field. Great game from beginning to end, tied with like 7 minutes left in the matchup. And it really did live up to the billing of the game of the week, especially in Class 11 AA. Now joining us in studio, Coach Brady Muth, Coach Justin Olson. Coaches, good morning.
Good morning, Bryce.
Morning. All right, so you just heard me say that. Would you guys agree that last night, obviously you won a victory at the end of the night, but it was just really was a solid performance from the Bucks and Pierre. It was just a really classic matchup.
I mean, I thought it was a physical game. Yeah, I mean, like just like you said, we would rather be talking about a win right now. It was a hard fought game, and after the game, you looked around the locker room, there wasn't anything left in the tank. So our guys left it all out on the field, and that's all we can ask of them. We just have to find more. We just have to have more, and our guys know that. They know we fell short a little bit. There's some things that we can clean up and some things that we did to ourselves. But all in all, looking back on it, after you take a break and you kind of get away from it for a while, we played real well, just not well enough to win. And we keep scoring for a reason, and so we've got to find a way to get better.
Coach Olson, great defensive performance from the Bucks last night, especially in the first half. Some big stops, and really just a first half shutout against a peer team that's went into the game averaging like 47 points per game. Does the Yankton defense really showed up, and they also were put in some tough spots, and they really held strong.
Yeah, really proud of those guys. They kind of like you mentioned, they banded together and bowed their necks when they had to, with their backs against the wall a little bit, and they responded. Just coming in, with Pierre, you kind of have that little extra, like, hey, we got to get them. And the motions, I told them the motions might run high, so you just got to just breathe and then just do your thing and make sure you trust the guy next to you and behind you and in front of you, of course. And I thought that they played very well. I was really excited to watch them kind of put everything together. And like Coach said, we just didn't have quite enough, to defend them off. We know that they were gonna, eventually score. Hoping that they didn't, but that's who they are. They're peer right now. They're still a very good football team. But like I said, I think our defense played very well, and excited to see how these guys react. And now coming up, and we got to rejuvenate a little bit, but we have a tough matchup. Again, a very physical ball game come up next week as well. But they left it all out there for sure.
And feel free to add anyone, not to put you on the spot, but I want to name or talk about a few individual players from last night. I'll start with Bodie Thurman. Obviously, yes, he got ejected into the second half, but his first half was electric. Some big plays, had the interception that set up the Yankton go-ahead score in the first, and some big hits, and just really seemed like he was bringing a lot of energy.
Yeah, Bodie is one of those guys that he's an electric guy, and when he's on the field, obviously we need him on the field. And against Watertown, he showed up big, and start off the game big. So when he gets a shot again, we're really going to count on him. So that was good. It was good for him to get that interception too. He's been working his tail off for this moment. And then the rest of the defense. I don't know if we're going to get into now, but I thought the interior guys, Derek Beal and Frang and Eustace, and then the subs that they have, we use just about everybody. Yeah. Eustace and Wavernick and. We can go on. I know we're going to miss some people. Cordell stepped in there as well, but I think the linebackers, played well of a game as well with all around. I ain't gonna name my whole defense, Bryce, but it's one of those things where we asked some people to do some things down around on the edge, trying to hold off and against a very physical offensive line, and it was good. It was good. Just looking to just tweak some things and get even better. So
yeah, we talk about it every week. You said you don't want to name the entire defense, and it just I always go by. Okay, so first of all, you have your takeaways, things of that nature, and then what name did I say that the most? Do I feel like I was saying constantly throughout the night? And that's just kind of how I go by. But the entire defense does deserve credit, top down. But you mentioned your linebackers, another week, and they deserve it. Shaler Platt, Matthew Sheldon, they just. Consistency has been what the word I've come up with for those two.
Yeah, and they have, and that's they're steady Eddies. They're kind of our linebacker mantra is the heartbeat of the defense, and they definitely resemble that. And another guy that I thought played very well was Edley Amaro too. Coming off the edge, he did a really good job. Then the secondary back there, we had probably one little oops in there, but I thought they had. They kind of got put in a situation where we had to make some adjustments, dropping Carson Ness down to a corner spot, and then bringing in, I thought Tucker played a heck of a job filling up inside the box there too. So, and then we filled in, a lot of people got some playing time there, from Austin Gold to Matt Grotenheist, Easton Nelson, and all those guys too. So, definitely was a collective effort on that side. And Bryce Crowell got in there. He showed some flash.
Best first name in the game.
There it is. So, yeah, so give credit to, anyone who stepped on that field last night, offense, defense, special teams. I thought they did a real good job too, but you guys will get into that.
Yeah, and you have the defense out there long enough, especially against this Pierre offense, as prolific as it is. Something's going to bend a little bit. Trey Lewis is a good running back for Pierre. What problems did he pose?
Well, just anytime you're physical and fast,
Yep.
And then you get a crease, you're going to be pretty explosive, and they're tough to tackle. So you're going to have to bring everyone to the ball, and hopefully some good things happen. We didn't create as many turnovers as I would have liked, but you just got to get them out of rhythm. But we held on as long as we could, and it was kind of bend don't break theory, and really proud of those guys. How they had they could have just withered away, but they stood strong and they gave it their all. That's for sure.
Coach Muth, Yankees offense, you just scored early after that Bodie Thurman takeaway. A lot of momentum there. Wouldn't score again till the fourth, but did seem to move the ball pretty well between, I guess you could say, the red zones, right? But it's kind of struggled when you got near the red zone. Kind of what problems did Pierre pose?
They're just big and physical, and when the field gets condensed, when you get inside the 20, the physicality steps up because there's more guys in the box. There's people closer to the football, and like I said, it was a very physical football game, and I'm really proud of our guys for the level of physicality they played at last night. It's just we have to find more. And that's just the bottom line. And that's not an easy thing to say, but if you don't say it, you don't analyze it and realize that that's the situation you're in, then you can't ever fix it. And the thing I will tell you about this team is we've got the guys to fix it. We're going to get to meetings here in a little bit, and when we left the locker room last night, the look in everybody's eye was we need to get back to work. And I know they're excited about it. They've got a challenge in T in front of them, and we got to find a way to beat T. But before we do that, we got to look at this and find out where we can get better, and what we have to do to win football games at this level. Because we've proven that we can hang. We're not in it to hang. We're not there just to be around. We're in this thing for one reason, and that's to be the last man on top of the hill. And we just fell a little bit short last night, and we got to be tough enough to look at that and find out what we did wrong and what we can do better. And I know our guys are going to do that. They're going to answer because they've answered every bell that they've had in front of them up to this point in the season.
And Coach Olson already alluded to it, but almost an equal test next week at T. So you can say it's very even, another chance to get at it. And you and I talked about before we went live on air just kind of what you see from this T team overall.
It's just they're a physical running football team. They play a fast physical defense. It is eerily similar to what in the style of play that Pierre has. It'll be a more out of traditional sets when they run their offense, but it's the same brand of football. T is going to be a little bit smaller than Pierre, but what they lack in size, they make up with tenacity. And so it's the same story from last week. Our defensive front and our offensive line, we've got to be better at pushing people around, and we'll get there.
Coach Olson, I know you got here right before we went live on air, so I know you're worried about getting some pizza. So I don't know if the football coaches left you any. So.
Well, I know that crew in there, and highly unlikely, but fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Thank you, coaches. And as I said before, obviously you want to win, but a good performance last night, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks, Bryce.
Thanks, Bryce.
All right, we'll take a break. Come back here on the Coach's Corner.
Olson Pest Technicians is a family-owned business since 1966, and with over 50 years of pest management, they understand your issues, and their well-trained team will help you solve your pest problems. Issues with cockroaches, ants, bedbugs, bats, termites, spiders, rats, mice, or other creepy crawling pests? Give your home a fresh start and use the proven method of fumigation to take care of your pest problem. Olson's Pest Technicians will thoroughly get rid of pests so you can rest easy again. Call Olson Pest today, 800-KILL-BUG. That's 1-800-KILBUGS.
So I switched my insurance to State Farm, and get this. I talked to an actual State Farm agent who lives in my actual town. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town gave me actual help with the coverage I needed. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town who gave me actual help actually knows my name. And get this. They actually say it's called service.
Call State Farm agent Rhonda Westland at 665-4411.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. CoreTrust helps your business thrive with checking, online bill pay, small business loans, credit card processing, local approval and support for government grants and loans, investments to grow your hard-earned assets, and insurance to protect them. All from CoreTrust, the community bank that's right down the street and everywhere you want us to be. Visit CoreTrustBank.com today.
Member FDIC.
Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Fieser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Let's continue talking Yankton Bucks football. Join us in the studio, Yankton offensive coordinator Terry Huber and Coach Brady Hale taking care of special teams and the quarterback situation there for the Yankton Bucks. Coaches, good morning.
Good morning, Bryce.
All right, let's start talking with Coach Huber here first. Yankton's offense. I just talked to Coach Muth about it a little bit. Scored early thanks to Bodie Thurman turnover and able to punch it in. Basically, I think he got into the red zone or just shy of it.
Yep.
Able to convert, but then it wasn't until the fourth quarter, again, Yankton able to score. How much of that was Pierre? That's a very talented team on the other side of the ball, and how much of it was just kind of struggling to convert in from field to field?
Yeah, I would say, hats off to Pierre. They had a very strong defense. We knew coming in they were going to have a good defense. But I think a lot of last night was, us not converting, executing it. I think we had the effort there. I think the mentality was there. We weren't converting when we needed to. And you get one drive 3 and out, you get another drive 3 and out, and you got to stay calm and collected because those happen. Like you can't. Obviously, we wish that we could score every drive, but realistically, statistically, that's not going to happen. But our guys kept plugging away. They were working hard. Just didn't happen for us last night.
All right, and then Coach Hale, Lucas Kamshoff last night had some big moments there. Also, receiving core had some drop passes last night. That doesn't really help the incompletions, but solid performance from him when you look at it from the spectrum of just the kind of game it was and the big stage, and he did what he had to do to keep Yankton in it.
Yeah, he did exactly that. He kept us in it. He's our senior leader. He's our quarterback. And like you said, we'd ideally like to complete those balls, but Lucas is going to continue to work hard. I know he'd probably say maybe he could have put it in a little better spot, be self-critical and not blame it on those receivers. But, he threw a lot of good balls out there. We just got to make plays for him out there. And, it's just unfortunate it didn't happen for us. But we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and continue to get better. And that's just the exciting thing is that he can still get better with how good he's been playing. So
absolutely. Official stats, 14 of 37, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, the 1 pick at the end of the game. And then Coach Huber, you look at the rushing for Yankton last night. Not a lot of rushing yards. It was more of a passing attack. Was that kind of what you knew going in?
Well, with their defense that they're running, first level, you bust your first level, and there's big yards after that. And, we talked to our guys about that. Unfortunately, they, at the start, we started pretty well, and then we weren't getting our passing attack going like it should have, which then allowed them to really send pressure up the middle, which it hurts us a little bit, I think when we see him again, that rushing attack's going to be there. We're gonna clean a few things up. We had some miscommunication. I wear a lot of this. I think I could be a lot better than I was last night in certain situations. We're going to talk a lot today about it. We're going to move on to T after we get through this film, but we're going to make sure that we make the corrections we need to this week, so that next week we have a very balanced offense when we get into T.
And this one's for Coach Hale. Could be for either of you, really. But the hit chart for the wide receivers last night, excuse me, it was spread again. That's the second week in a row, at least from what I'm remembering, that it's been pretty spread. You have, I think, 7 different receivers, if I can count. But one of them, Peyton Peterson, 63 yards on 2 receptions, just some big catches.
Yeah, like you said, everybody got a touch last night, it seemed like. But that's just another thing about Lucas is we have plays designed to get guys the ball in certain spots, and a lot of times they're open and he's able to get him the ball, but he does a great job of just spreading the ball around when things break down. And that's something we'll continue to get to work on and hopefully spread it around even more and make some of those bigger plays.
I love that I have you two coaches in here together because a lot of the questions that I end up having for one of you could be answered by either. Because, it does intertwine a lot. This one is a question about the Yankton offensive line / Lucas Kamshoff. So whoever gets it first, right? We need a little buzzers. But he seems to have some clean pockets last night against a very good Pierre defense. This offensive line really was providing him, at least from the broadcasting standpoint, some time to go through some reads.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, being the offensive line coach and coordinator, I told Coach Muth, I'm very proud of these guys. It means a lot having the leadership that they have. They're coming off to the sideline. They're communicating with me. They're communicating with each other, with their quarterback, and that's such a big deal in the line world. And they're all sitting there listening to this right now, and none of them are expecting any shout outs because they've bought into the offensive line mentality of you have one job, and that's to protect the guys behind you. Whether it's run blocking, pass blocking, it doesn't matter. And they really stepped up. Even our twos coming in. We had to bring in Austin Conway, young guy, freshman, got his first reps last night, and he wasn't noticeable, which was great. Like if you're not being noticed out there, that means that you're doing a good job. I take that, and that's simply the leadership. Yui playing next to him. I thought Peyton did a great job making him feel comfortable when he came in. But just listening to Wawrnick and Greil and Cottle and Yui and those guys, they're coming off, they're communicating with me. I just see a mature line who they don't want their quarterback to get touched. And when you see how they're running them upfield, they're giving them running lanes, they're working together on their pass pro. I think Lucas feels very comfortable, and that's what we want. We don't want a guy who's worried about what's at his feet. We want him worried about what's downfield, and that's pretty fun to see.
Let's talk punting game. So Trujillo last night, he had two that pinned Pierre within, I want to say, the 5-yard line. One at the 1-yard line, and then I think it was at the 5 or give or take a couple yards.
Yeah.
But he just seems like that guy where, to quote Bill Belichick, just does his job, and he does it very well.
Yeah, he did a great job last night. Like you said, the punts inside the 10, inside the 20, those are huge plays in the football game. The percentage of teams scoring from that position is significantly lower, obviously, if you have to start from way back there. And I'm sure Josue would be giving credit to his boys down there covering his punts and downing them for him. But it's just been fun to watch him. He kind of has learned we call it a sky kick. He's kind of learned and perfected that this year. So to see him execute that in a game multiple times is really cool to see. And just speaking as an offensive coach, ideally we don't want to stall out at the 40-yard line anymore. But when we do that and we can pin them at the 1, it doesn't feel so bad to turn the ball back over to the other team. So
it can change the play calling abilities. You get to that point where maybe we're third and medium, third and long, taking a shot play. That if something goes wrong, which you don't want it to, but it happens. If it goes wrong, the confidence that you can have in the special teams is phenomenal right now. Coach Hale is doing a great job. It's really fun to watch him work with Josue out there at practice. Just seeing those guys, because they're just competing on. Hale has the expectations set, and Josue is coming up to him. It's been really really cool to see.
So what can you tell me about this T defense? I know you're going to get through film for Pierre, but as I mentioned to the last two coaches in here, Muth and Olson, is that it seems if you want another big test, it's pretty much a lateral test. Now it's on the road as well. T area, another top team. What can you tell me about that defense?
Yeah, they're going to be fast and physical, and they're going to be sending the pressure all night. That's one thing that the film that we see on them and just past experience. That's what their coaches are about. How many problems can they cause? They're not going to go out there and just sit in their base defense. They're going to try to cause problems. It's going to be fun for our guys to adjust to. And like you said, I think it is going to be similar to this week and similar to Watertown last week. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for our guys to get after them and play a nice physical game.
Be on the roof again, hopefully less bat.
Yes.
That's my goal in life right now. Coaches, thank you for coming in. Enjoy your weekend.
Yep, you as well.
Bryce.
All right, we'll continue here on the Coach's Corner after this break. Enjoy some Yankton hospitality at the brand new Fairfield Inn and Suites. As the newest hotel in Yankton, you'll have a comfortable, relaxing stay in modern rooms. For business travelers, Fairfield is a perfect place to rest after a long day of work or use their meeting room for small meetings. Families can enjoy indoor pool, and they'll love that Fairfield is close to Yankton attractions. Plus, there's plenty of parking for your boat or camper. And finally, fuel up for the day with our fresh, hot, and healthy breakfast. To reserve a room, go online to Marriott.com or call direct 605-653-2250.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT&RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com.
At Triple Time Rudy's, you get convenient access to quality fuel products. Plus, you'll also find quality South Dakota products like Dimmock cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers. With a local-friendly feel and unique product offering, Triple Time Rudy's is your local convenience store that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts to Yankton's largest employers. For all of your daily fill-ups and convenience needs, pull into Triple Time Rudy's at 17th and Broadway.
Attention homeowners, if you've been on the fence about selling, I'd love the opportunity to sit and visit with you. With low inventory, now would be a good time to call me, Deb Speck at Vision Real Estate. I'll provide you with a free market analysis and a no-pressure approach. Call me at 605-664-5555 to find out if now is the right time to make a move.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Coach Matt Degger, Coach Dan Schwach here in the studio with us. Coaches, good morning.
Morning.
All right, so we have multiple things to talk about. Let's start with the varsity portion of your coaching duties from last night. And we'll start with the receiving core, Coach Decker, as the hit chart, so to speak, as I was mentioning with Coach Hale and Coach Huber just now. Pretty spread. Again, another week in a row that a lot of guys got some targets. Kind of not a newcomer. He's had some big plays this year, but Peyton Peterson had a big night, 63 yards on 2 receptions. And just kind of what clicked for him last night.
Well, we knew that they were going to put a safety over top of Tucker and possibly Austin. And, you know, we had some other guys that needed to step up. And Peyton had a great game. You know, he shows the great amount of effort that he shows, and you can see that on those first 2 plays right away in the first half. And, you know, he did himself last night. You know, we said be Peyton Peterson, and he was himself. And when those guys don't have to think, they play really well. And so Peyton had a great catch right away, and it was like, all right, let's roll, Pete. Let's keep going. So it was great.
Carson Ness also had some big receptions, and if I remember correctly, a couple of them were pretty high difficult catches that he's able to bring in. Some really good hands on Ness.
Yeah, Ness has great hands. Ness is a great overall receiver. His routes are sharp. You know, he's got great hands and he's got great vision. You know, when Ness, like with all those guys, when they're not thinking and they're just playing, good things tend to happen. And I thought Carson stepped it up last night, especially playing defense too. You know, he gets tired, but you know, he pushes through, and he did pretty well last night.
And then a couple more guys I want to talk about, and you always the fear of leaving guys out, but if we name everyone on the team, we're gonna have like a 4.5 hour show. So yeah. I'm sorry, everybody, but credit to everyone. But let's start talking Tucker Gilmore again. That connection from Kamshoff to Gilmore has proven just to be the A matchup or the A connection for the Yankton Bucks.
Yeah, Tucker is a dude. He he, like I said last week, he leads our wide receivers, and on defense he was going up against Zabel, and he was taking shots like crazy. I think at one point he did a front flip in front of me after a catch, and we were like, oh gosh, please get up. But he is a physical wide receiver, and he's got sharp routes, and for a big man, he's got great hands too. So he had another great night. Austin Goebel was running everywhere, it seemed like, last night. He was playing a lot of defense, then he was coming back on offense, and he was running everywhere and gave us a good effort last night. And there's some areas that we can improve on, and we're going to do that this week in practice. And we're going to kind of hammer in on back to basics for us. So we drilled physicality and speed all week last week, but now we're going back to basics this week as wide receivers. So
we're too far deep into the roster now not to mention the last two. So I will say Cohen Zarbach, another good night.
Yeah.
He's really developing as he's moving along, especially I'm looking at the his special teams efforts as well, but he's punt returns and stuff, but he's had some nice receptions last night, 2 receptions, 17 yards. And then Evan Sirk. So rushing last night, he didn't have no one on Yankton had a great rushing night last night. Right. But if you consider his versatility, those swing routes out of the backfield as a receiver, Evan Sirk was able to get some yards that way.
Absolutely. Those two are and Evan's getting better with his hands especially, and it's a process, and he's working on that, I know, and Czar's working on his speed, and he's getting there. Both of those guys have really developed as the season's gone on. And be on the lookout for Connor Slaba. He's one that does a great job subbing in too, and he's getting it at that A spot. So we got a lot of talent at the wide receiver position, but the main thing for us is with all of our guys, we got to keep developing. We can't be satisfied with where we're at. We got to keep developing as the season goes on. So we'll get back to basics this week and keep getting better with some of our fundamental stuff.
Coach Schwach, the defensive line last night, and feel free to name as many guys as you want, but when you're just looking at the big plays, the key takeaways of things of that nature, Edley Amaro, a sack last night. That guy's turned into a scary dude.
Absolutely. That sack, and I haven't seen it on film yet, but just from down on the field, looked like he played that rep about perfectly, how he filled in, wasn't going to blow contain, and then when he finishes, he knows how to do it. So, pinch yourself, remind everyone he's a sophomore, so he's taking coaching very well and improving every week, and I mean, the sky's probably the limit for him. With that, on the other side, another sophomore, Peyton Eustace, a little bit of fountain of youth there on the D-line, played a solid game, and it's a lot to ask him to go both ways, but guy, forgot to mention last week, but sure excited to get him back here, hopefully in the near future, Tyson Prouty. Cannot understate how important he is, overstate how important he is on the defensive line, both as a leader and a player. And then those big two horses in the middle, Riker Frang and Derek Beal. Tough task. I mean, Piers, I think we counted 30-some formations that we thought they could maybe show us like they've shown in the last couple of years. They kind of settled in on a few there at the end, but it's a mental aspect too, just trying, I mean, and that's their game plan, try and get you confused with unbalanced and where the extra players are, but our guys responded well. Caden Wavernick and came in at kind of the edge, or I mean, he's versatile. You can throw him anywhere. And then Lucas Cordell had a really good game on the edge. Kind of got a little nicked up on one of the calls that maybe one could argue he was held a little bit. So was exciting. I mean, that started 2 softs and 2 juniors, and Lucas coming in as a junior. So those guys are just young. They're hungry, and each day in practice, they're just ready to get to work.
Yeah, sorry, I talked about the varsity a little longer than I intended to with you guys. But, hey, last night was exciting from your position groups.
Yeah,
and so,
it was.
Yeah.
No, it was.
Yeah, so we'll bleed over into the next segment. I don't care. This is my show. So
Yeah.
Because I still want to talk JV, and that's one of the main things I want to talk to you guys about. A 40-6 victory for Yankton JV over Sioux City East. And Yankton got out of the gates hot, 2 quarters in a row, 13 points, and then 2 7-point quarters, and just consistency offensively. And I'll let you take that from there, Coach Decker.
Yeah, and I just want to say before we get into offense, Coach Schwach's got the defense down to a T. He's having a great time with those defensive guys, and that defensive side of the ball is controlling games, and that's what's making our offense score a lot is the defense. But Tate Bestie's got he's the leader of our team. He's our quarterback, and he's doing a great job leading our team. He's making his progressions and his reads in the right manner. But he's also trusting his guys to go up and make a play. And with these guys like Abe O'Brien, Jason Lachik, Cale Hazelhorse, Easton Feeser, those are all guys that are doing really good things that we're seeing developing at the JV level. Like I said, Jace had 2 touchdowns, Abe had a touchdown, Easton had a touchdown, Cale had a touchdown, Chase Platt had a defensive touchdown, I believe. But a lot of these guys, Owen Eidsness got in there. Cale Gary is a great junior leader for us at the receiving corps for the JV. Our offensive line with freshman Austin Conway. Then we have our leaders, Jackson Wentz, I know wasn't playing, but he'll be playing here. He's having a big role in the next game. And Liam Villanueva, Reagan Wenish. We're doing some really good things. Riley Mortensen, was doing some really good things. So it's great to see our offense developing, and that's the thing is these guys get ready to go, and first quarter, they're like, let's go score a touchdown, first drive. And it's a great mindset to have. So it's fun to coach these guys. I really enjoy coaching them, and it's just a fun team to be a part of.
And Coach Decker really set you up for your own segment defensively for JV. Take it away.
Well, I was going to say thank you for the kind words, Coach Decker. There's not a person I'd rather spend my wedding anniversary with on Monday other than with you and sharing a pizza with you on the bus ride home. So I will say happy anniversary, honey. I know even the boys are listening. So, defensively, the shutout ends at quarter number 10, but I'm going to call it a wash because, like Coach said, Chase Platt fell on a fumble in the end zone on a just hustle play, blitz play. So technically, we got those 6 points back. Thomas Sheridan in the middle. I mean, he was just in on every play. I mean, they were ready to just put a notch by his name every time he was in for a tackle. I will talk about and give him a little extra shout out. Owen Eidsness, and he was also our scout team player of the week this week for the varsity side. He had 6 tackles, and he's just kind of playing with a little bit of swagger in his step now, a little more confidence in that free safety spot, especially when he's freed up over the field. So he got a nice interception, and even the one big pass they gave up over him, it was, one heck of a play by them. He was in a good spot. So Owen's playing great. Chase Platt had I think it was only 3 tackles, but jumped on that fumble, and he had a nice little interception where I thought it was a defensive back running back. Yeah. Those guys on the edge, we finally got Lance Payer back after a little bit of an injury. He was kind of the utility man playing safety linebacker, just filling in some depth. And our new sophomore edges, Talon Kenny and Jacob Bivens. Talon had 2 sacks, and Jake Bivens had 1. They've just been improving exponentially every week. We kind of brought Jake down from safety and Talon from the linebacker on the edge spots, and they're just kind of becoming a natural fit. Both are incredibly coachable kids and just super fun to be around. So we're having fun. All the credit to the guys. I think I could maybe blindly look at the play sheet and call something in, and they'd figure out a way to make it work. So we're excited.
Yeah, future of Yankton Bucks football, very exciting for sure. The JV level, the 9th grade level, all the way down. And I haven't checked on the middle school scores lately, but I'm sure that's going well too. It's just
they fought Sioux City East hard this week, so we'll great coaches, great program down there, and we're super excited about those couple classes in the middle school too.
Well, coaches, thank you so much for coming in, talking a lot of varsity, and then, of course, JV. Congratulations on another JV victory. Next up for JV at West Central that's ninth grade, sorry, at Dakota Valley on Monday. And either of you can take this last question. Well, give me a little Dakota Valley preview from what you know.
Well, I'll take this one. I've been playing Dakota Valley back in my Vermilion days, so for 6 years now. They're always talented. I believe they might have lost last night, but they were third or fourth in the polls. They'll come at you with some run game. They had run some wing T stuff, but now they're kind of getting out of that. New coach there was Husker fans might recognize the name. I forget what his coaching spot was on the Nebraska Huskers at the varsity level. So always tough, and I mean, I'm sure they see Yankton on their schedule, and they're going to paint a target on us. So we're excited, and we'll just go in and do our thing.
All right, coaches, enjoy the rest of your morning. Get to film. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Bryce. Thanks, Bryce.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
The start of a new school year is a good time to evaluate your children's healthcare needs, whether it is a doctor's checkup, replacing EpiPens for serious allergies, or renewing prescriptions for inhalers to treat activity-induced breathing problems. Hi, this is Michael from Yankton Rexall, and we pride ourselves in providing accurate prescriptions and appropriate medical information for your child's health. Good health contributes to good students. Celebrating 100 years, your hometown pharmacy since 1923, Yankton Rexall.
Yankton Medical Clinic is pleased to announce the addition of geriatric specialist Dr. Jennifer Philhouse to their team. Dr. Philhouse will help patients as they age and need an expert who understands the aging process. She uses the John A. Hartford Foundation 4M's framework in her practice. What matters? Medication, mentation, and mobility. If you or a loved one have reached the age where you need expert care, schedule your appointment with her today. Dr. Jennifer Philhouse. Just one more way Yankton Medical Clinic provides so much care, so close to home.
The other day, a gal came into the UPS store to drop off a package. On her way out, she noticed the print sample wall and asked if we could print invitations. The answer was, yes, we can. Hi, this is Doug at the UPS store in Yankton and Vermilion. For over 7 years now, the UPS store has been helping hundreds of customers with their printing needs. From basic copies to business cards and invitations to posters, we can print them. Stop out and ask about our current print specials and see how we can help with your printing needs.
Sports injuries can be the result of competitive activities, but can also happen by just participating in leisure activities too. If you're experiencing pain as the result of your chosen activity, consider chiropractic care. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson with First Chiropractic Centers. We have experienced chiropractors that work with sports injuries every day. Our treatment options are aimed to minimize pain, reduce recovery time, and reduce risk of future injuries. Visit First Chiropractic Centers, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Let's continue talking Yankton Bucks football. I have Coach the Savvies in here in the studio. Coach Jason Savvy, Coach Blake Savvy. Coaches, good morning.
Morning.
All right, let's get some quick varsity talk. I made a mistake with Coach Schwak and Coach Decker. We ended up talking about 70% of the varsity side and then 30% JV side. It felt bad. So let's get a quick varsity talk out of the way and then start talking ninth grade football. But Coach Blake Savvy, start with you with that secondary last night. Excellent job. Great effort from the defense at the line, in the linebacking area, in the secondary as well. It made Cade Kaiser's life throwing very difficult. A lot of big pass breakups, and I guess the word I'm looking for is consistency from them.
Yeah. I thought they did really, really well. And big thing that they did is they took ownership of recognizing formations and getting themselves into the right coverage, and then just playing well out of it. And I think when you're talking about defensive backs last night, it was short-lived, but we have to talk about Bodie Thurman. Like, when he was in there, he had a great game. But then, as a unit, when he went out, we adjusted really well, and we kept playing a really great game overall as a unit. So, yeah.
And then Coach Jason Savvy, the running game last night really wasn't there for the Bucks. Just not a lot of things going. I guess struggled to get it established last night, right?
Yeah. We never really got our rhythm going, run game wise. We're usually rotating in, Evan Sirk and Shaler Platt, and he's been a little bit sore, has a sore leg and stuff. So second half it was all Evan Sirk, which is great. Evan's a great little running back, but we talked to him about having to hit those holes a little faster than we normally do because they were closing up pretty quick, and Pierre did a good job. I mean, they got helmets to the ball a lot of times we ran. We had some good runs. Unfortunately, had a couple penalties that brought those back, but we just got to continue working and establishing that running game so you can have that balance, passing and running. It makes a big difference because at some point, Pierre, they're just dropping guys back, knowing that we're looking to pass probably more. So yeah, we got a little work to do there. Getting the line to open up some holes for us, but the backs got to hit those holes hard and fast and try to get what they can.
Well, maybe the run game wasn't established, but there was a couple of running backs. If you turn them into receivers out of the backfield, they did a pretty nice job. Evan Sirk and those swing routes coming out of the backfield. The up back or H-back, Matthew Sheldon, he's had a couple of those games where he's gotten some big receptions, able to convert first downs of that nature. And obviously trying to keep a clean pocket for Cam Schaff as well, doing a nice job blocking.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. Using those guys in our pass game is huge, giving them those little dump passes. Our best play of the night was a little tip ball to Sirk that he was able to catch on a screen and then took it downfield for a good gain. But yeah, it makes it hard to defend. I mean, that makes it hard to defend too. Teams got to worry about where those backs are coming out from, and Matthew too. He's usually out there catching some big passes too for us. So that definitely keeps things, keeps the defense on their toes a lot more too.
All right, let's start talking ninth grade football. Another victory. So 3-0 on the season for the Yankton Bucks ninth grade squad. A 28-9 victory over Norfolk. And just a solid performance, looking like, if you're just looking at the stat sheet, which I am. Defensively is one thing that really jumps out. Obviously 28 points isn't too bad putting on the offensive side. But what's up with this ninth grade defense? It seemed to really be clicking.
Yeah, we added a few more twists with this week. We kind of let them start to introduce them to some stunts and a few more blitzes. And I thought overall our coverage was good. We switched up in the second half. We kind of went to a lot more man, and they did a great job locking them down and came away with 2 picks on the day from Ivan Hirschman, and then Tegan LaCroix got one. Tegan, it was right after he actually threw a pick himself. So that was really good to see him just kind of take it into his own hands and just get it back. So that was really cool. I thought throughout the game, we had to deal with a little more adversity. Like, they really haven't been in a close game yet this year. So at halftime, it was 13-9. And then to be able to finish the game 28-9 showed a lot of just team strength, and they really pulled together well in that second half. Had a great second half.
Well, you're looking at the tackles. That's one thing you look at the sacks and interceptions if there ever was one, but I look at the tackles in kind of the same way I look at a wide receiver hit chart. It's just kind of how spread out the tackles are. That just shows me a lot of red helmets going toward the ball.
Yes, and again, it's kind of they've done a great job over the first 3 weeks of nobody's trying to be a superhero. We're just playing our gaps and making tackles when they come to the gap. So, you're not seeing a lot of statistics where there's 18 tackles from one person, and it's a very short list. Like, there's long lists every week because guys are making the plays when they come to them. So they've done a great job for the first 3 weeks and just kind of settling into their roles and playing great team defense.
And 2 names I've noticed, and then we'll talk about the offense, is how many crawls are there, by the way? Because it just keeps going. And then also the best Yankton Bucks football name I've ever heard in my life, Madden McQuaid.
Right.
That is just a football name if I've ever heard one before. That's going to be exciting. Offensively, Coach Senior Savvy, just solid performance. Just kind of what are you seeing from this offense? We always talk every year about how it's your guys' job to implement the varsity playbook and just kind of put the building blocks up, and as they develop into JV and then varsity, but kind of where are they at with that right now?
We continue to get, better at running our offense, which is, what we want to see, the consistency of it. We still got quite a bit to work on overall, but they're really starting to become comfortable, I think, is the big thing with the plays, getting the plays in, getting it called a little bit faster, and guys just knowing where they need to go. We got to, obviously there's always execution that, we can be better at, but, when you look at the stat sheets and you see no punts, I mean, you love to see that. Our drives were great drives. We, like Coach said, we were up, 13-9 at half, and we got the ball to start the second half. It's like, all right, let's go down and score and, increase our lead. And that's exactly what we did. So Ivan Hirschman, he had our first 2 scores off a great little catch and run. And then he had another little sweep that he took out on the outside for another good run. And then Miles Drotzman kind of took over in the second half. And our drives were good, kind of sustained drives. It wasn't like we were scoring, you don't see these big, it wasn't a 50, 40, 60 yard, long. We had these good sustained drives. And then, Miles was a 24 and 25 yard run. And so that took away some clock. And we played 10-minute quarters. So seriously, I think we had the ball 4 or 5 times in the first half total, and
we have Drotzman a little over 10 yards a carry, and then LaCroix a little over 7 yards a carry. That's just, if your running backs are going to do that, just keep feeding them the ball.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And you look at that, and you can see why. I mean, we had the ball in position where I know 1 or 2 times it was 4th and whatever, but it's in a position where, well, we're going for it. We're not punting, we're not kicking field goal, we're going for it, and they'd get that first down. They did what they needed to do, get the first down, keep the drives alive. So it was a great game overall. We didn't need to pass much because we were obviously running the ball so well on the ground. But when we needed to, we put the ball in the air a little bit. But overall, it was a good game, like Coach said, for them to have to really fight, for the win. But they responded that second half and came out, and right away they just played well.
Well, another solid challenge for the 9th grade team at West Central on Thursday. It's a good football program up there up north.
Yeah. And this is a schedule change because it was supposed to be Dakota Valley on our schedule. Things didn't work out. Dakota Valley wasn't going to be able to play us, and just so happened West Central was looking for another freshman game. So Mr. Morris jumped on that, and then to make things even better, it worked out that Thursday, the day we were supposed to play, worked anyway. So so we're going to head up there, and that'll be a fun new experience. We never played them before. So that'll be a good test for our guys because, like you said, their program is obviously one of the best in the state in their class, and so we're looking forward to that.
Well, congratulations on the victory, coaches. Thank you for coming in. I'm assuming you guys got your pizza?
You bet.
Did.
Is there any leftover for me?
Game.
You going to the Huskers game?
We are.
All right, well, then hit the road. What are you guys doing here? Get out of here. Thanks, coaches.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Investing in your home is easier and more fun when you have local choices. This is Cody Miles, owner of Upper Midwest Garage Door. We offer a wide variety of American-made, unique Clopay garage doors, free in-home consultations, a digital preview of the new garage doors on your home, and the expert small-town service you deserve. Get started today with your local independent Clopay dealer, Upper Midwest Garage Door. Give us a call, stop by, or learn more at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
Everyone loves something different about our buffet, which is good because buffet has something for everyone. This is Annie from Yankton Pizza Ranch. Come in and fill your plate with good food that makes you feel good inside. Don't see your favorite pizza on the buffet? Request it using Buffet Your Way. We'll make it, bake it, and give you the very first slice. Grab the country's best chicken paired with tasty sides and finish off with sweet cactus bread at Yankton Pizza Ranch.
Do you really think it's a good idea to buy insurance off the internet? After all, it is insurance. It's not a commodity like a toaster. It's a contract to protect what you value most: your home, your car, your business, your health, and even your life. You need a professional, in-person agent to make sure you have the right coverage to fit your family's needs. Schedule an appointment with us today. Missouri River Associates, 665-6885.
When I'm searching for adventure, I find it on the range. Archery challenges me to be curious, see opportunity, and welcome big challenges. It teaches me to focus and never quit until the last arrow hits. Archery allows me to show my spirit at Mount Marty University. How do you show your adventurous side? Schedule your campus visit to Mount Marty University at showyourspiritmmu.com.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
And welcome back to the Coaches Corner. Thanks to all of our Yankton Bucks football coaches for coming into the studio. Now we turn our attention to Yankton cross country and another Coach Savvy. This is just the Coach Savvy hour, apparently, as Coach Kate Savvy of Yankton cross country joins us. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so let's jump right in. Bucks finished 4th in the 5K. Gazelles finished 2nd. That was at the Norfolk Skyview Lake yesterday as part of the, is it Mahler, the Lyle Mahler?
Yes.
Lyle Mahler cross-country invitational. That you couldn't have really asked for much better than that, right, from results from your team.
No, I think yesterday was such a great day. For our team, all divisions did exceptional. I'll start it off with the boys varsity. Dylan Perry, he placed 5th and ran 16:30, which is a PR for him in cross. Harrison Krowski also ran great yesterday. He ran a PR of 17:09, and it's killing me that he can't go sub 17 yet. So he's going to get there by the end of the season. His work ethic is just awesome, and so really excited for him. And Abe Chance ran great as well, coming in 3rd for the Bucks. Carson Conway with a big PR too to help us out. Brighton Olson, all our guys just working hard out there to get that 4th place against a very competitive field. We were the first South Dakota team against Roosevelt and Harrisburg, so that was exciting and really encouraging going into these later meets. For the girls varsity, lots of fun. Our girls just ran very competitive yesterday. They put themselves towards the front, which usually they kind of start in the middle or the back and work their way. But yesterday they just went out there and wanted to kind of assert where they wanted to be and finish. So Rylan Jackson took home 10th place, Mary Rounds took home 14th, Abby Johannesson 15th, and then Shay Rumsey and Delaney Yeomans were right behind them to help them score 2nd as a team, which was super cool to see. And their team chemistry is just growing, so very excited for them.
You mentioned team chemistry, and we'll talk about that before we talk about the JV portion. But is this team kind of where you want them to be as far as working together? How have practices gone? I guess I'm just asking kind of the culture question because, it doesn't it take a while for every new season to kind of get gelled?
Yeah. I love this question because I was thinking on that bus ride home yesterday that I love everything about just this season so far. Like, the races are so much fun, especially when you have a day like yesterday where we run PRs and we get 2nd or we place in the top 15. But I also think back to the practices that we had this week. We had a huge workout out by the lake this week, and everyone was just pushing each other. They were pushing themselves and encouraging one another. And so then when you see that hard work pay off in a meet, and then they get to the bus ride and you're hearing everyone just kind of laugh and like the spirits are high, it really makes me excited. And you can tell that when it comes to ESD conference or state and they're racing for points, it's I'm going to get that one other person because I'm doing it for those guys that I've been training with and just getting to bond with over the season. So yeah, team culture is great. We have awesome leaders like Dylan Perry, Abe Chance, and Harrison Krowski on our boys' side. And then girls' side, we have Shay and Claire just kind of mentoring those younger ones. And so it's just super awesome to see that as a coach.
And then yesterday at the JV levels, Bucks finished 3rd, Gazelles finished 4th. Another set of solid performances.
Oh, yeah. I love Norfolk because everyone runs a 5K. So in JV, they're used to like 3Ks or 4Ks. And so to have them step up and run a 5K, which is like around 3 miles, is super cool and kind of gutsy. And they embraced it so well. On our guys' side, we had Kaden Hunoff come in 7th with a PR in the 5K. Isaac Peterson placed 14th. And like you said, team got 3rd. And then Ava Johannesson ran such an awesome race. Very hilly course out there, too. So she really attacked those hills, and she got 12th to help the team place 4th. So.
Next up for cross country, just, a little meet, whatever, but it's at Fox Run Golf Course here in Yankton. That's the only home competition of the season for Yankton, correct?
Yeah, yep.
And it begins at 4:15. And just, I guess, how excited are you and the team? Because I guess I kind of look at it like I do for, competitive dance and cheers. You sometimes only get that one competition at home, so you just want the town to show out and to get over to Fox Run. And so I guess this is the opportunity to ask people to come out and support the Yankton Bucks and Gazelles. And what advantage is it to be able to run at a place that you're very used to?
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't thank our fans and parents and family members enough. I love going to meets because we do get such a great crowd to support our teams. So to come home and run at Fox Run, which is such a great course too, that is an awesome 5K to run on for our varsity squads. And Fox Run is so great in letting us host it there. So, yeah, I can't wait to see who all comes out to support these teams. They've been working hard, and I know it's going to be an exciting race with all the different teams that are there. You have A, B, and AA teams, so it's a great race to watch. And, yeah, I hope a lot of people make it out there.
Around how many teams? You don't know off the top of your head probably, but...
Just under 10, I think, but...
Okay, well,
yep.
That's a good amount of teams there for, as you mentioned, a excellent course. Again, that is on Thursday beginning at 4:15 at Fox Run Golf Course here in Yankton. Coach, good luck to you and the entire team in that meet. We'll talk to you next week.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, that's Coach Savvy, Yankton Cross Country. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Hello. Here's to welcoming moments, big and small, embracing the unexpected, savoring life. At Avera, our nationally recognized health system will be right here with you, ready for anything. We listen to your goals and help you achieve them with care and coverage. We'll move you forward through sickness and health and every milestone in between. Avera, moving health forward. Learn more at avera.org/forward.
Truxedo is proud to have been part of the Yankton community since its start in 2000.
One of the things I love most is that they believe in promoting from within. I've been given many opportunities to advance.
Truxedo has an extensive variety of benefits available to their employees.
The work environment at Truxedo is extremely positive.
We are looking for you to join our production team. Visit www.truxedo.com/careers to apply.
Olson Pest Technicians is a family-owned business since 1966. And with over 50 years of pest management, they understand your issues, and their well-trained team will help you solve your pest problems. Issues with cockroaches, ants, bedbugs, bats, termites, spiders, rats, mice, or other creepy crawling pests? Give your home a fresh start and use the proven method of fumigation to take care of your pest problem. Olson's Pest Technicians will thoroughly get rid of pests so you can rest easy again. Call Olson Pest today, 800-KILL-BUG. That's 1-800-KILBUGS.
So I switched my insurance to State Farm, and get this. I talked to an actual State Farm agent who lives in my actual town. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town gave me actual help with the coverage I needed. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town who gave me actual help actually knows my name. And get this. They actually say it's called service.
Call State Farm agent Rhonda Westland at 665-4411.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Let's start turning our attention to Yankton Bucks Golf. Join us in studio, Coach Brett Syme. Coach, good morning.
Morning.
All right, so the Mitchell invite, and right before we went on air, I just kind of laughed at you and said, that's a lot of teams. A lot of teams there at that golf course yesterday, and Yankton finished ninth, 34 over par. Taking the team win was Harrisburg. They were 7 over, and O'Gorman 8 over. So a tight finish at the top, and then Yankton finished right in the middle. Solid performance from the Bucks.
Yeah, we were right around our team average. We're hoping to improve on that, as we finish the season, which, believe it or not, here we go, 2 weeks. That's all we got left, 3 tournaments. We really need to try and improve on not getting as many double bogeys or worse, for those that know golf out there. We just had a few too many of those yesterday that kind of kept us from beating a couple of teams. Rapid City Stevens, Sioux Falls Jefferson were one shot ahead of us. Being behind Mitchell's JV, I hate to say it was kind of a disappointment for the boys and for me, but they're 2 shots ahead of us. And, they got a good quality program, and they always play well on their course, as we saw in the Marchand Cup earlier this year. But, if we were able to cut down on a couple of those, we'd be right up in there in that 6th position probably. And if we can battle for, 6th, then maybe kind of try and fight to get a little closer to Brandon Valley and Mitchell. Towards the end of the year, we could end up maybe vying for a spot on the podium. But, we're definitely going to have to improve a little bit to do that. Otherwise, we're just kind of looking at being on the outside looking in, as you might say. But we had some really good individual efforts. Easton Velick shot a 76. So did Parker Riley. They ended up in a tie for 15th, played really well at the Mitchell Invite. Riker Larson, who's been playing pretty well for us here lately, shot 83. He kind of had it going early, but then had a little bit, of a rough ending. Just didn't make any huge mistakes, just couldn't get any pars, lots of bogeys. Miles Kraske shoots 87. Eli Larson, 88. Kai Cody, 93. We need those guys to kind of get closer down to 80. Basically, when I talk to those kids, it's, I mention it almost every week. We got to try and take one shot at a time and do the best we can on every shot. But if we can get half pars and half bogeys, that's 81. And that's, that's kind of what some of those guys need to work on, is figuring out how to get half pars, half bogeys to get us closer down to that 80 range so that we can get under 320 like some of those teams that are competing for that, 5th, 6th spot in the state. But yeah, we're proving that we're kind of the team we've been all year long, but we actually want to improve on that and try and jump up a couple of spots and try and fight for that top 6 at the state tournament.
When you're a golfer at this level and in competition during a season, is it this late in the season? No real big adjustments are being made, right? It's more about just finding consistency. Like I'm talking about swings and stuff. I don't know. Are there adjustments made this late?
Not a lot. It's little things. We've been working a lot. We've been talking a lot about short game. We get a lot of kids that fall in love with one club around the greens, and you need to have a variety of shots. We got some kids that want to loft it up high and stop it quick on the greens when maybe running the ball up to the hole is a better option, and they need to practice that other one that they're not used to. And the more variety you have, the better you're going to be. As I watch a lot of those pros, even at the highest level, if they get up around the greens, they might be using a lofted club, but they're not throwing it up in the air and just stopping it. They're running it up along the green up to the hole. So, I want kids to realize that. Hopefully they're watching some of that because they're the best in the world. And we're always trying to get them to maybe hit shots that they're not the most comfortable with, because that's what we need. When you're faced with those situations, we've got to be able to hit those kind of shots too.
Tuesday, the Watertown Invite, that's at Cattail Crossing. And as I always like to ask you, just kind of how does that course play out? Is it a fast course? And how has Bucks historically done there?
Well, before I talk about that one, can I go back to Monday?
Yeah.
We actually had
absolutely.
a tournament, Brookings Invitational. Went up to Brookings on Monday. Again, another good tournament. We had a 15-team field there, just like in the Yankton Invitational. A lot of the best teams in the state were there. Again, 8th place. We're kind of, right where we have been. Shot 321. Kind of right around our average, just a little above. But, we shot 322 at Mitchell yesterday. So, it's kind of right there. Our average is right about 320. But we're trying to work to get below that. But we had some, again, good individual efforts. Riker Larson goes out and shoots 75. He's really been... working hard at his game and working hard to be able to help that varsity squad. Easton Velick has been a leader for us all year long. I think this is the first time he didn't have the best score for us, but, he shot 78 still. So he's had every round in the 70s except for, I think, the very first round. I think he shot 81 at Brandon the first time we were out in the wind. So he's had a great season so far.
Consistent, yeah.
Yes. And Miles Kraske, Parker Riley shoot 84 to kind of round out the team again. That's kind of what I'm talking about. We need to have that closer to 80. And then if we got those two others that are under 80, it's going to be a good team score for us, and we're going to fight to be in competition with those other teams that are under 320. And then Eli Larson shot 87 and Kai Cody shot 89. So, again, we're kind of where we are, but we've got to try and improve. And the big reason that we are where we are is we have too many of the big holes. We've got to try and keep it at bogey or less. And that's one of the biggest things that we need to do. Now on to Tuesday. Not quite sure who we're going to take as a team yet. We've kind of been trying to figure that out all year long, who our final 6 players are going to be. We may have a little bit of a playoff on Monday to see who's going to go on Tuesday, and then we still may have one to see who our conference team is going to be on the next Monday here in Yankton. But once we get to conference, I want that pretty locked in because that's probably going to be our state tournament team. So, I don't know right now because we might, like I said, we might have some guys play off for some spots going to Watertown, and that's fine. I think a little internal competition can make your team better. You've got to go out there. It's not just going out and playing with your buddies and your teammates, but you got to compete against them, and you might have to beat them. And it's always kind of a tough deal too because, if we're having a 3-way playoff for 2 spots or a 4-way playoff for 3, somebody's not going to go, and that's kind of a tough deal. And we've had one of those already this year, but it is what it is. And in golf, the scores a lot of times don't lie, and if I feel a lot of kids are close or they're struggling, because we want to take and put the best product on the course at the end of the year that we can. We've got to try and find the ones that are playing the best, and that's what we're trying to do here at the end of the season. You asked about the course. I think a lot of the golfers have played it. We've had a state tournament in the past few years. We've also had ESD there. So some course knowledge, we'll have. I actually used to go to high school in Watertown for 1 year when that's way back when, back in the 80s. But so that course has changed a little since I played there. But one of the 9s, the yellow 9s, they have 27 holes there. We play the red and the yellow. The yellow 9 is basically one of the same old 9s that I used to play, and the red 9 is kind of brand new except for a couple of holes. So I do have some course knowledge going up there, so hopefully the golfers will listen and pay attention to what we're saying, and we can go up there and have a good tournament because it is a course you can score on. There are some tough holes, so it's kind of long. But then there's some really short holes too, so it's kind of a combination. It's kind of weird too. The red 9 is kind of wide open. Not a lot of trees out there, but there's some penalty areas, and if the wind blows, it can be really tough. The yellow 9 is a little bit older course, so way more mature trees, a lot of cottonwoods lining the fairways, and it can be a little tough if you're missing the fairway and getting it in the trees. So, but it should be fun. We've got good quality competition we're going to be playing against. A lot of different teams. We got a lot of A teams that we're going to be playing against in that one. So it'll be good. Might get to be playing with some different people and different competition. And, we're just going to go out. We know we're going to play against some really stiff competition in Watertown, Harrisburg, Pierre, just like we always do. I don't know if any of the Sioux Falls schools are going to be there, but, the ESD is about as tough as it comes. So we're going to hope to go up and, try and get that score under 320 and try and cut down on some of those doubles and triples.
Well, it sounds like a mixed bag of the course, as you mentioned, Coach. Looking forward to seeing how that all turns out for the Yankton Bucks and playoffs. We say it all year long, but quite literally is just around the corner. Can you believe it?
A week from Monday, we have, we're going to be hosting the ESD Conference Championship at Fox Run. So, yeah, we're kind of into what we call championship season because after the ESD on that Monday, then we just got 4 days of practice and we'll be heading to state.
All right, thanks for coming in, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks a lot, Bryce.
Let's Coach Brett Simon, Yankton Bucks Golf. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. CoreTrust helps your business thrive with checking, online bill pay, small business loans, credit card processing, local approval and support for government grants and loans, investments to grow your hard-earned assets, and insurance to protect them. All from CoreTrust, the community bank that's right down the street and everywhere you want us to be. Visit CoreTrustBank.com today.
Member FDIC. Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Fieser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Enjoy some Yankton hospitality at the Fairfield Inn and Suites or the Holiday Inn Express. As the newest hotel in Yankton, the Fairfield offers you a comfortable, relaxing stay in modern rooms. For business travelers, Fairfield is the perfect place to rest after a long day of work or use their meeting room for small meetings. The Holiday Inn Express features large family rooms, hot breakfast, and free happy hour. To get a great rate and flexible reservation changes for either hotel, call the Fairfield or Holiday Inn Express direct.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT&RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com.
At Triple Time Rudy's, you get convenient access to quality fuel products. Plus, you'll also find quality South Dakota products like Dimmock cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers. With a local-friendly feel and unique product offering, Triple Time Rudy's is your local convenience store that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts to Yankton's largest employers. For all of your daily fill-ups and convenience needs, pull into Triple Time Rudy's at 17th and Broadway.
Attention homeowners, if you've been on the fence about selling, I'd love the opportunity to sit and visit with you. With low inventory, now would be a good time to call me, Deb Speck at Vision Real Estate. I'll provide you with a free market analysis and a no-pressure approach. Call me at 605-664-5555 to find out if now is the right time to make a move.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
The start of a new school year is a good time to evaluate your children's healthcare needs, whether it is a doctor's checkup, replacing EpiPens for serious allergies, or renewing prescriptions for inhalers to treat activity-induced breathing problems. Hi, this is Michael from Yankton Rexall, and we pride ourselves in providing accurate prescriptions and appropriate medical information for your child's health. Good health contributes to good students. Celebrating 100 years, your hometown pharmacy since 1923, Yankton Rexall.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Let's start talking Yankton Bucks soccer. Coach Dave Dannenbrang here in the studio. Coach, good morning. How are we doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Bryce?
I am doing fairly well this morning as well. Late night last night at the football game, but ready for an exciting weekend with the family. It's always nice. Bucks soccer most recently defeated the Mitchell Colonels at home, 7-2, improved to 7-2-1 on the year. Myself and of course little Kirby was in attendance, so it's because we were there, Coach.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
That's we've got our lucky charms, and having your family there is nice. Yeah, we've had a great week. I keep telling people that sports are way more fun when you win, and they definitely are. And our winning has come from a lot of work by our kids. They've done everything that we have asked as coaches. I've told them if we were a mediocre team or a bottom of the tier in the division, that I would just let us go out there and play and have fun. And every time they shoot the ball over the net when they're 5 feet away and their moms you get that courtesy, oh, nice try, nice try. I'm like, no, that's not a nice try at this level. And so I've been putting that pressure on them that we're a top 4 team. I mean, we're going to be vying for, or we are vying for a state title. And so now it's time to improve on some of those little things. Every little goal is going to count. And that's the part that has been so fun as a coach, where these guys have responded. Our seniors have all become leaders. I mean, all 7 of them have just really stepped up as far as example, as far as trying to be motivating on the field, motivating in practice, doing all things that it takes. And all of that comes together to just score more goals, not make as many mistakes, and be 1 goal ahead of the other team. And luckily this week, like with Huron, we were 1 goal ahead of the other team, which it always seems like it with those guys. And so on Tuesday we go up to Huron, and man, it just scares me every time we play them, because they're this year in the middle of the pack, but they've played teams really tough, and then they've played teams really poorly.
They're an unknown, right? You don't know what you're going to get.
They are, and they're usually pretty good at home. So we go up there and, we come out, we jump on, get a lead right away, which is good because they get a little panicky, but they're good shooters, and they made a good shot, and all of a sudden they tie the game up, and, we trade goals, and then we just start playing well. And that's why I've been putting the pressure on the boys that we have to now mentally prepare. In the famous words of the late Coach Tim Mulhare, that sports are 95% mental and the other half is physical. Yeah. And the mental aspect of the game is really important. And we now are preparing for these tough games. And Huron was a great test. We just had some great performances up there. Andrew Budig had some great clutch saves. He's filling in. Well, he's in there for Jackson Kronberg, who had a shoulder injury from the Spearfish game. We just had a bunch of young kids. We have a winger, Tony Guitron, which he had a great week. Scores 3 goals against Mitchell and played really well against Huron. Just set us up for some great plays. One of the most improved players in the last 3 to 4 weeks is Jack Pedersen. Wow, our touch is getting better. Just so many things are improving. Anthony Alfonso has just stepped up out on the wing. In the JV, Patrick Gurney has been playing goalie, and our whole team was sitting there watching him. It's like, oh man, Huron's going to score. And then Patrick comes through really clutch and made some great plays, which fires everybody up. And so it's just great to see people just stepping up and playing really well. And on the defensive side, Cade Riefenrath, a sophomore in the back, he's had a little bit of a groin problem, but man, he just steps up, comes in clutch. Our seniors, Ty Bindi and Bennett Shade and Walter Ortiz, Simon Scholl's in the back. They're getting better. We have a long way to go by the time we get to the state finals on October 14th up in Brandon, which we're shooting for. But every week we improve, and I hope they build confidence in that improvement.
During the Bucks' last title run, a lot of these guys that are on the team were on the team, but they were young pups. And a lot of them, are they showing that hunger for a state title this year?
Well, they've shown the maturity for that. And I'm really trying to stress that when you become a championship team, you have to take some of the emotion out of it. You'll always have those runs where you can just go play, and the chips fall where they may, and then you just win. And luckily, I've been in the game long enough that some of our championship teams in the different sports that I've been associated with, you have to control your own destiny. And there's going to be a point where you get up into the playoffs and anybody can win on any given day, and you then have to control the outcome of the game. And that's where they have matured. We came out with Mitchell on Thursday. You're playing a team that's third from the bottom, has 1 win and a tie, and it's hard to get up for that. And I said, this is where we have to practice, and this is where we have to be mature about our emotions. We have to come out there. We have to know what we need to do. Even if they come out hard and play well, because every team is going to have their moments. And Mitchell did too. They've got a young coach that he's trying to get their spacing. He's trying to do the things you need to do. And they were doing it. And I said, all right, boys, we scored a couple early goals. They had a penalty in the first 3 minutes, took Lance Dannenbring out in the box. He knocks in a penalty kick, and then they make another mistake, which he knocks in another goal. So within the first 6 minutes, we have 2 goals. And now it's easy just to sit back and not play hard. And that's where I really put the pressure on them, that now we mature. You know what we can do. Let's go out and do it. And they did. And that's where we moved the ball well. We communicated well. I mean, all the things that we're working on in practice, and they did it. You know, and I have to give a lot of credit to our midfielders in Byron Jimenez and Nels Hansen, Lance Dannenbring, Ty Bindi, our guys up top, which has been Christian Pachenko, and we put Patrick Gurney in there, and Jack Pedersen has been up top in the middle. It's really hard to play in the middle, and everybody always criticizes the midfielders. Anytime anything goes wrong, it's like, well, your midfield did this, your midfield did that, and you know, it's like, man, it's hard. And those guys have done a great job of spacing it out, and that's the key to our victories, where there's always somebody in the right position, and we get the ball to space, and now we can make something happen. And we're fast enough and talented enough this year that we're starting to make things happen, starting to knock in those short backside goals instead of kicking them over the top. And you know, that's again where Anthony Alfonso, he gets excited and boom, it goes over the top, but he took his time and just easy, boom, chip shot right in the goal, and you know, all of a sudden you go up 4-1, and that takes the wind out of another team's sails. And so really, really proud of all those guys.
At Pier on Tuesday, what can you tell me about Pier, but also what's it like playing at Pier?
Well, Pier's a little bit different, and soccer is just so weird, where you come to Yankton, and Yankton has it the best of any place in the state. Now, I'm not just saying that to brown nose my bosses and everything else, but we have a great stadium. We have a locker room right at the facility. We have press box. We have TV. We have the best live stream and you guys commentary. We have just some people that help out so much. I'm getting to answering your question, but I'm trying to put in a plug here. Ashley Haynes, who sets up all of our ball boys for us, where we always have plenty of ball boys, where every place else we go, they have maybe 2, which the state requires, and we're chasing balls all over. So we have it so good here. And we're going to go up to Pier, and it's going to be polar opposite. We're going to go way out in the middle of nowhere and play on a grass field that sometimes is really nice and sometimes not very nice, depending on the rain that we have. Parents have to bring their lawn chairs, you know, so you kind of feel like you're at a U12 soccer tournament. And, you know, it's all of those variables that go into it that we have to really work on it. So that's why yesterday and Monday we're practicing on grass, on rough grass, because we've been to Pier before, and all of a sudden you get a bunch of clumps and the ball takes funny bounces. And so we're going to go up, deal with that adversity, and obviously we want to come out with a win, but I'm confident that our boys will step it up and be able to do it.
Well, looking forward to seeing how that goes, Coach. You have any more big plans this weekend?
Well, I'm still trying to finish up my summer jobs and building some patios, and I really want to thank Todd Larson for being patient for having their backyard torn up. But we're getting it done, and you know, I'm hoping to watch a little bit of soccer today, because Lincoln plays O'Gorman at noon.
Yeah,
and you got number 1 and number 2 in the state playing, and again, that's the beauty of having some live stream out there, and O'Gorman's is pretty good. So I'm hoping to watch them, because as a coach, I keep telling our boys, we're not looking ahead, but we have to plan ahead. We have to plan that we're going to meet one of those 2 teams. And, you know, if we're fourth is really a pretty good spot where we are now in the seedings, because it puts us in the bottom bracket where all of a sudden we're away from the number 1.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's going to go back and forth, Lincoln and O'Gorman. But, you know, I'm preparing that we're going to play them again, and now we have to step it up and be ready for them.
Well, I'm surprised, Coach, my wife hasn't contracted you yet for any landscaping things, but enjoy your weekend. Enjoy scouting that matchup. Thanks so much for bringing yourself into the studio to talk to us, and go Bucks.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Yankton Medical Clinic is pleased to announce the addition of geriatric specialist Dr. Jennifer Philhouse to their team. Dr. Philhouse will help patients as they age and need an expert who understands the aging process. She uses the John A. Hartford Foundation 4M's framework in her practice. What matters? Medication, mentation, and mobility. If you or a loved one have reached the age where you need expert care, schedule your appointment with her today. Dr. Jennifer Philhouse. Just one more way Yankton Medical Clinic provides so much care, so close to home.
The other day, a gal came into the UPS store to drop off a package. On her way out, she noticed the print sample wall and asked if we could print invitations. The answer was, yes, we can. Hi, this is Doug at the UPS store in Yankton and Vermilion. For over 7 years now, the UPS store has been helping hundreds of customers with their printing needs. From basic copies to business cards and invitations to posters, we can print them. Stop out and ask about our current print specials and see how we can help with your printing needs.
Sports injuries can be the result of competitive activities, but can also happen by just participating in leisure activities too. If you're experiencing pain as the result of your chosen activity, consider chiropractic care. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson with First Chiropractic Centers. We have experienced chiropractors that work with sports injuries every day. Our treatment options are aimed to minimize pain, reduce recovery time, and reduce risk of future injuries. Visit First Chiropractic Centers, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Investing in your home is easier and more fun when you have local choices. This is Cody Miles, owner of Upper Midwest Garage Door. We offer a wide variety of American-made, unique Clopay garage doors, free in-home consultations, a digital preview of the new garage doors on your home, and the expert small-town service you deserve. Get started today with your local independent Clopay dealer, Upper Midwest Garage Door. Give us a call, stop by, or learn more at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
Everyone loves something different about our buffet, which is good because buffet has something for everyone. This is Annie from Yankton Pizza Ranch. Come in and fill your plate with good food that makes you feel good inside. Don't see your favorite pizza on the buffet? Request it using Buffet Your Way. We'll make it, bake it, and give you the very first slice. Grab the country's best chicken paired with tasty sides and finish off with sweet cactus bread at Yankton Pizza Ranch.
Do you really think it's a good idea to buy insurance off the internet? After all, it is insurance. It's not a commodity like a toaster. It's a contract to protect what you value most: your home, your car, your business, your health, and even your life. You need a professional, in-person agent to make sure you have the right coverage to fit your family's needs. Schedule an appointment with us today. Missouri River Associates, 665-6885.
When I'm searching for adventure, I find it on the range. Archery challenges me to be curious, see opportunity, and welcome big challenges. It teaches me to focus and never quit until the last arrow hits. Archery allows me to show my spirit at Mount Marty University. How do you show your adventurous side? Schedule your campus visit to Mount Marty University at showyourspiritmmu.com.
FNBO is the great big small bank, and for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family-owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig, and thanks to Coach Dave Danbring joining us, Yankton Bucks soccer. Let's turn our attention to Yankton Gazelles soccer now. Don't have Coach Schuring in here this morning. Him and I communicated, and we're going to go ahead and play the post game that he had from Thursday evening. He does talk a lot about that, a little bit of a peer preview as well. The Gazelles fell in that matchup to the undefeated Colonels 2-1. Again, that was Thursday evening. They're now 4-5-1 on the season. Ayanna Becker had the lone goal for the Gazelles. It was just a it was a slugfest, out there, and Mitchell, top team in the state, and Yankton Gazelles really gave them all they could handle. But why are you hearing it from me? This is Coach Tyler Schuring joining our very own Braden Butler in the post-game interview from Thursday's broadcast.
We welcome in Yankton Gazelles head coach Tyler Schuring after a 2-1 loss. Coach, two things to talk about before we even get into a question. It was tough to see a loss on the scoreboard, but you played very well against a very good Mitchell Colonels team that remains undefeated on the year. And we got you a working microphone this week, so there's number 2.
Yeah, number 2 is it's a nice thing here. Pass the mic back and forth. Coming in, we knew Mitchell was going to be a huge challenge. They're sitting at 10-0 right now. They probably have, if not the best forward in the state, one of the top 2 or 3. She's a D1 forward committed to Utah State. She's the real deal. For anyone who hasn't seen her play, she's got over 100 goals in her career. She knows how to find the back of the net, and anytime the ball's at her foot, she can shoot either foot. But man, that left foot's really dangerous.
Yeah, she was very dangerous in front of net. She got both the goals, did Mia Molenmeister today, and that was with a decided difference between Yankton and Mitchell today. But Yankton got on the board as well late in that first half with Ayanna Becker. I should also mention this post-game coach interview brought to you by Rhonda Westland State Farm. Let Rhonda review your current home, auto, or life insurance to see if she can help you save some money. That's Rhonda Westland State Farm. And, going back to that Ayanna Becker goal, we'll talk about that in a bit, but I want to stick with the defense right now. As you mentioned, one of the best, if not the best, attacker in the state playing for Mitchell today. Held her to 2 goals, which something not a lot of teams can say this season, especially in the month of September, as Mitchell has scored 22 goals, 24 now after this one in this month alone. That's only over 4 games. So what did the Gazelles defense and your game plan out there really show for trying to stop not only her, but this entire attack for Mitchell?
Coming in, we wanted to go after it. We played as open in this game as we have. We open it up in our diamond formation, which is more of an attacking formation for us. If you look back, even the Brookings one last week, we played more of a defensive formation, where we sat back a little bit more. But here, we were going after. We knew Maya was dangerous, but we also knew coming in that a loss didn't really hurt us as much against a team like this. But if we wanted to go after this team, and if we could go out and pull off a victory against this team, that was going to be a big bonus power points for us. And we know when we start putting some things together, we can be a dangerous team, and there's some glimpses of it out here. The defense is really starting to put it together. We knew that we were going to have to play tight on the defense, keep our lines closer together. We know Mitchell is really looking for those slot passes to find those wide runners. They really try to play wide and spread out the opposing team's defense. So one thing coming in, we knew that we were going to have to focus on, staying a little bit tighter, not getting stretched out. And I thought the back line did a really good job of that. And because of that, they were able to cover for each other and really double team their forwards when they got the ball anytime down in front of the goal.
It was a great defensive effort all around. Elena Monin in goal. I had her unofficially double digits in saves today, so even when they were able to get past your back line, whether it was playing through on goal or just kind of those long shots from a long way out, she was able to still maintain her concentration and be in front of net.
Yeah, I can't say enough about Elena. That was a game time decision. Hannah had a little injury issue right before the game, so it was just telling Elena, hey, you got to step up, and she stepped in there, no hesitation, and she's got all the confidence in the world, which is great to see from a young goalkeeper. And she made some really good saves, helped control the defense back there. So I'm really proud of the way she played.
Speaking of on the health end of things, I saw Eden Wolfgram got out there for the first time at Crane Youngworth Field. Didn't see if she played on Tuesday in Huron. Is that the first action for her? And is she on a sort of a pitch count, so to speak, minutes limit, trying to get her back up to the speed of play?
Yeah, she's been out for a few months here now, and yeah, she's definitely on a pitch count, if you want to put it that way. We're trying to work her back in. She's excited to be back out here. Her teammates are excited to have her back in play. When she's healthy and when she is game fit, she can be one of the better players in the state. But it's going to take some time, to build some of that game fitness and some of that touchback. But yeah, it's really nice to have her back out here and helping out the team.
All right, a couple more questions for you before we head out for the evening. It was senior night here for the Yankton Gazelles, so just anything you can say about this senior class that has been through a bit of adversity, and also when they were younger coming into the team saw a state title run when they were underclassmen and know what it would take to try to get back there in the future.
Yeah, it was fun to see, starting all 6 seniors right off the bat to start the game. And, I see a lot of players running across the field here looking for a picture. The seniors, getting a nice start today and really going up against one of the better teams in the state, played really well defensively, kept everything in front, were able to get some counterattacks going, and, they looked really good. So, I can't say enough about, the work that they continue to put in, so credit to them for continuing to work and continue to put in for the program.
All right, next question up for you. You got Pierre, the Governors on deck. I believe that's on the 19th, and then you come back home for a doubleheader with West Central, rescheduled from last month. So what are you looking ahead with those two teams?
Well, next week total is going to be a busy week because we got Aberdeen on Saturday as well. So 3 games within about 5 days. Traveling to Pierre anytime during the week is a challenge in itself. Pierre's a solid team this year. They move the ball really well. They got one of the biggest fields in the state out there, and they definitely utilize it. They stretch out the field. So kind of like today, we've got to make sure that we stay compact defensively, not get too focused on chasing the ball across the field because they'll really wear us out if we do that. The nice thing is we've got some line changes out there to keep our legs fresh, so hopefully we can combat that a little bit. West Central is always a tough opponent for a Class A team. They're always in this championship, it seems like, for Class A. They were kind of for them it was maybe a down year. They had a really, I should say a building year for them, not a down year. They had a really big graduating class last year. So, but seeing them at the beginning of the year, their coach is going to have them ready to go. So, we're going to have to be prepared for that. And then Aberdeen Central, in the state finals last year, they're always a tough team to play, and they've got one of the best forwards in the state up there as well, in Deshauna Peters. She is a player that just does not stand still, so we're just gonna have to keep track of where she's running on the field.
All right, Coach, thank you for taking the time to come in and talk to us today after this one. 2-1 in favor of the Colonels, but a lot of good things out there on the field for the Gazelles. Thank you as always for talking to us.
Thank you, and it's always a blast having you guys up here broadcasting for us.
That was Coach Tyler Shuri enjoying the post-game interview with our very own Braden Butler. That was on Thursday evening. In sub-varsity action from Thursday night, Gazelles won 1-0. Addison Bradier scored the goal for the Gazelles. Next up for the Gazelles, they're at Pierre on Tuesday. We'll take a break, come back, and talk Yankton Gazelles volleyball here on the Coach's Corner.
Hello. Here's to welcoming moments, big and small, embracing the unexpected, savoring life. At Avera, our nationally recognized health system will be right here with you, ready for anything. We listen to your goals and help you achieve them with care and coverage. We'll move you forward through sickness and health and every milestone in between. Avera, moving health forward. Learn more at avera.org/forward.
Truxedo is proud to have been part of the Yankton community since its start in 2000.
One of the things I love most is that they believe in promoting from within. I've been given many opportunities to advance.
Truxedo has an extensive variety of benefits available to their employees.
The work environment at Truxedo is extremely positive.
We are looking for you to join our production team. Visit www.truxedo.com/careers to apply.
Olson Pest Technicians is a family-owned business since 1966, and with over 50 years of pest management, they understand your issues, and their well-trained team will help you solve your pest problems. Issues with cockroaches, ants, bedbugs, bats, termites, spiders, rats, mice, or other creepy crawling pests? Give your home a fresh start and use the proven method of fumigation to take care of your pest problem. Olson's Pest Technicians will thoroughly get rid of pests so you can rest easy again. Call Olson Pest today, 800-KILL-BUG. That's 1-800-KILBUGS.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Bryce Ladwig here in the studio. Let's start talking Yankton Gazelles volleyball. And Gazelles picked up their first home win of the season. That was on Tuesday night, knocking off a Huron squad that entered the contest third in Class AA. 3-1. The scores are 25-22, 18-25, 25-19, 25-17. Macy Drossman and Camille McDermott led the way for the Gazelles as Drossman recorded 17 kills to lead the team. McDermott tallied 33 assists. And just like we did with Coach Tyler Schuring and Yankton Gazelles soccer, I have the post-game interview with Coach Taylor Stacy with our very own Braden Butler from Tuesday night's action. I'll go ahead and play that for you right now. Again, this is the post-game after the victory.
Coach Stacy, thank you as always for coming up here and joining us in the Fairfield Inn broadcast booth. And, first win in front of the Yankton hometown for you as a head coach. How's that feeling to have Yankton faithful behind you and take a 3-1 victory over Huron?
It feels really good, and it feels even better that these girls got it and that they can believe in themselves now. It's a huge confidence booster for them and for our whole Yankton program, and so we are really excited to see where the rest of the season takes us.
A 3-1 victory here, closing out over the Huron Tigers. And the Tigers, they were no slouches coming in. 6-1 record. They just dropped their first match of the season last week against Watertown, a team that the Gazelles played earlier on this year and know how good the Arrows are. So you're coming in against a very good team. No fear on the face of your Gazelles today, taking a 3-1 win. Can you walk through the mentality leading up to this game, going up against an opponent near the top of the class?
Yeah, we have been playing some really tough teams, and coming into this game, we knew Huron was scrappy. They're scrappy every year, and so we just needed to put the ball down, put the ball in play, and continue playing together. That was the biggest thing, is these girls needed to continue playing together and keep the energy high. And that's exactly what they did. They wanted this win, they fought for it, and they earned it.
A big facet of the match today for the Gazelles was the service game. I, by my count, had 10 aces across the 4 sets. So is that something that the team has been focusing on more lately, or is that just something where everything was clicking today for the Gazelles?
Yeah, we usually have really good servers, but we have been focusing on serving hard and serving tough in practice as well. And so I think it clicked, but also we've been working on it, and so they did a really nice job of serving tough against Huron.
A couple of players I want to touch on here and talk about because they had great days. Obviously, Camille McDermott, 6 aces is what I had her at, 7 kills, was third on the team, leading the team in assists, as she tends to do. Just got her 2,000th assist here recently. She's already the career leader for the Gazelles. What more can you really say about Camille McDermott? And then Macy Drossman as well, leading the team with 19 kills. One of them, so much force on it, it went off of a Huron defender and knocked off our tripod here in the crow's nest. So everything's okay. So we won't ask for any reparations for the damages or repayment for the damages. But everything was good there. And those two really shone today for the Yankton Gazelles.
Yeah, those two really brought it today. They were on their game. They worked hard. They helped each other. Really, Camille and Macy clicked really well, and they not only helped themselves and helped the team, but they did really well leadership-wise.
Another player I want to talk about is Cameron Koletsky, another senior on this team. It seemed when Macy had to rotate into the back line to serve, which she did very well today, Cameron Koletsky was there on the edges to really send a lot of shots home off of assists.
Yeah, we've been working on getting on top of the ball with her, and she did it tonight, and it felt good, and we could see in her face that she was proud of herself. I'm proud of her for finally getting on top of the ball and getting those kills, and that we know she can do.
Coach, the team's been enjoying a little bit of home cooking here recently. 4 straight home matches, so you haven't had to travel for a couple weeks, I don't believe at all in the month of September, for the varsity anyway. I know there's been a couple sub-varsity games that I've had to travel for, but the varsity team has stayed at home primarily. You get your first road games of the month next week, traveling to Mitchell on the 16th. So what are you looking ahead for with the Colonels?
Mitchell is another scrappy team, and so we just need to be ready to play our game. That's the biggest thing, is we need to play our game, keep our energy high like we did tonight, and hopefully we can pull out another win.
That was the post-game interview on Tuesday's victory. Braden Butler conducting the interview with Coach Stacy. And Yankton Gazelles volleyball, just what a great atmosphere that night at the Summit Activities Center. First win on a home court for Coach Stacy, and is very happy for the Yankton Gazelles. In sub-varsity action on Tuesday night, the Gazelles JV squad won 2-0. Were led by Kayla Llewellyn's 18 assists. Gracie Gutzman tallied 9 kills in that contest. In the sophomore matchup, Yankton took a 2-1 victory. Were led by Berkeley Olson with 5 kills and Elena Nelson, who had 10 assists. Huron took the freshman match 2-0. Next up for Yankton Gazelles varsity, they're a 2-7 record. They hit the road for the next matchup as they travel to Mitchell to face the 2-7 Colonels today. Yeah, that's happening today up in Mitchell. And we're not going to take a break as we're running short on time here in the Coaches Corner. We're going to turn our attention over to Gazelles tennis. The Gazelles played in competition Thursday and Friday. I caught up with Coach Ryan Haig right before competition Thursday for our interview. And here is that conversation. All right, let's start talking Yankton Gazelles tennis, being joined on the Pizza Ranch phone line with Coach Ryan Haig, recording this on Thursday, ironically enough, during an event that just got underway. Coach, most recently, first of all, thank you for joining us. Most recently on Tuesday, Yankton dropped a matchup to Mitchell 7-2, and then Sioux Falls Lincoln 7-0. Those are at the Summit Activity Center courts. Two very tough opponents, but you knew that going in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Mitchell, they're competing for an ESD title, and right now, and they've got the ball rolling, and they came out the same as they did when we faced them in Mitchell here a couple weeks ago, and very aggressive, and they capitalized on some of the things that we consider as some of our weaker areas on the court. And so they came in with a game plan. They executed it nearly flawlessly, and although we fought hard and scored a lot of points, just found a hard time to kind of score the last point of each of the games, which is obviously critical in winning matches. So Mitchell got one by us, and we went out and, we had a little bit of a break in between and came back ready to go for Sioux Falls Lincoln, who is the obvious favorite to win the state title once again this year. And I thought we played very good tennis. We scored a lot of points. We rallied very, very well. We saw the girls trying to implement game plans that, maybe they wouldn't have to implement against a different opponent. And, when they're willing to do those types of things and you see some of the benefits from that, that's going to go a long ways in helping them, roll into the postseason, which is just around the corner.
And now 2 opponents from each side of the state here today, as we're, again, recording this on Thursday, Rapid City Christian and Sioux Falls Christian, also at the Summit Activity Center courts. Well, I guess it's too early to say how's it going, but what can you tell me about those teams? And I'll always go over the results on Saturday.
Yeah, Rapid City Christian, they have a very good program established over there, and they're going to come in with some quality young ladies. We're going to have to be on our game, to kind of stick with them, and I think we should be able to do that. And Sioux Falls Christian is probably one of the favorites to win Class A, and so they're going to come in with some firepower, and I think we match up fairly well against them, and we should be able to compete. And the girls are they've got smiles on their faces right now, and they're having a good time, and the weather's beautiful, so everything, we're on our home court, so things are in our favor, I think, today.
And Coach, you already alluded to it a little bit, but just expand. You have 1 week left of tennis. First of all, that's just crazy how fast that's gone by, but then playoff tennis, is the team kind of where you'd want them to be?
Yeah, we're playing a lot of tennis here in these last couple of days, so I think just a little bit, give a little bit of a rest. We do have some bumps and bruises and a little bit of soreness in different areas and things like that, but it's nothing that we can't deal with and can't manage, but we just have to be smart about how we do it, because obviously the entire season is built up for the postseason ESD and state tournament, which is just right around the corner.
Well, Coach, as always, I appreciate you joining us. Get back to that competition, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks so much, Bryce.
Yeah, I don't know why they said they're in competition on Friday. They're in competition today, and so the Gazelles swept their duels Thursday in Yankton, defeating both Rapid City Christian and Sioux Falls Christian 5-4. Nora and Sabrina Kraski went undefeated for the Gazelles. Each went 2-0 in singles play while winning both of their duos matchups as a tandem. Carolyn Corner, Evelyn Lima Zapon, and Megan Scott also won singles matches on the day. Yankton is in Mitchell today for matches against Sioux Falls Jefferson and Spearfish. The Gazelles are scheduled to take the court in 5 minutes, so at 11 a.m. Or maybe 11:30, around that time frame. So very soon up in against Sioux Falls Jefferson and Spearfish in Mitchell. Let's turn our attention to Yankton competitive dance and cheer. Yankton is competing at Brandon Valley on Tuesday. Cheer finished 10th, and dance, or excuse me, they did compete at Brandon Valley on Tuesday. I apologize. Cheer finished 10th and dance finished 5th. That was the senior night for Brandon Valley. And I was able to catch up with Coach Stacy Reichen following that matchup. I think it was on Thursday that we recorded it. And so go ahead and play that interview for you. This is Coach Stacy Reichen of competitive dance. Here's that conversation. Let's start talking Yankton competitive dance with Coach Stacy Reichen here on the Pizza Ranch phone line. Coach, thank you for joining us.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
All right, so the season really is underway now. You're almost to the halfway point. You went to the Brandon Valley Invitational on Tuesday, and Yankton Dance did a really nice job. They finished 5th at, as you mentioned before, a very tough place to dance in front of a Brandon Valley crowd that really shows up, right?
Yep. And they were there, which was great. It's their senior night, and they support all their athletics and their activities. It seems like Brandon has a really great sense of school spirit, so those folks come out, but they don't just cheer for the Brandon group. They cheer for everybody, as does everyone else. They always applaud the performance no matter what, so that's nice.
You've mentioned that even in Yankton as well. Does that just go across all of that sport? It seems very unique to have that situation where everyone is cheering for everyone.
Yeah, I would say it very much is unique. And they all do. Like, a team gets done and everybody claps for them. Obviously, like, if it's your school that's coming off the mat or coming off the floor, you're definitely cheering a little louder, but everybody claps. As our athletes sit and watch the meet, they clap for the other teams there. And it is a unique thing. It's definitely a very much a group, just a good feel-good atmosphere. Even in the halls when we're passing other teams, they all tell, hey, you did a really great job. I really liked this part of your dance. Or, they're there for each other because, our sport is very different because it seems like the only people, there's a few extras that come, but usually it's just all parents, close family, close friends, and the athletes just there to support each other.
I guess it is relatively early in the season, Coach, and in the past you've mentioned how you don't change the dance at all, but you just kind of tweak things here and there to make it more suitable for the girls. Is that kind of the stage you're at right now?
It is. We are trying this week. So with our jazz dance, like the girls, they've been a little stuck. They want to try and make their dance just a little bit more and add some more difficulty to it, even though our difficulty points have been very good. They're just trying to add some more layers in if we can. So this week we're, as luck would have it, a couple of my ideas actually stuck with them. So sometimes I give an idea and it gets rejected. I don't take that offensively. I'm not the one that has to perform it on the floor. But this week, my ideas were received, and they're going to give them a try when we go to Brookings and see how it goes. They added in Calypso leap in our jazz dance. We also added in some more changing spot turns done as a whole team rather than just a few of the girls doing them. So just trying to add some more things into our dances is always adding layers on. And, it keeps it fresh for us because we've been doing these dances. They learned them in the summer. So they learned them in June. So now it's September. So that's July, August, September. They've been doing these dances heavily since we started practice on July 31st. So it gets kind of more routine. So if you change something up, it kind of ignites that fire again in you and it kind of makes you more alert so that we can keep the routines fresh for the girls and hopefully continue to improve on our score.
Well, Coach, we're recording this on Thursday, so you'll have 2 more events before the next time we talk. Obviously, Saturday at Brookings at the Swiftville Event Center, and then at Huron at the Classic Huron Arena. How are those places for competition?
The Swiftville Event Center is, we have to kind of really talk about filling the space because it's a large arena. It's the first large arena that we've been to. We went to Watertown. That's kind of an arena atmosphere, but still it's like a gym. Went to Brandon. That's very much the audience is right there. Judges are right there. The Swiftel Center, it's big. So we try to fill the space, and we talk about having to project our emotions more. Same thing when we go to Huron. That's a little bit bigger space that we have to fill. The Huron gym, the way that that's set up, they do kind of shift the dance floor back. So we really talk about being aware of our boundary lines, especially in the front, just because they don't center it on the basketball court. They pull it back about 6 to 8 feet back. So that kind of throws off the athletes at first, but we're going to try and practice on Monday. We will kind of set ourselves a boundary back so that we can practice that and hopefully do well. In Brookings, we get a chance to look at the West River schools for the first time. A couple of the Rapid City schools will come over to dance, so that's kind of a nice thing for us to get to see what they look like this season. Huron is usually a smaller meet. It seems like some teams take a little bit of a break and kind of just go down to one meet a week next week, which will be Harrisburg next Saturday, a week from Saturday. But for us, we've always gone to Huron. It's a nice, easy meet for us. Small teams, small atmosphere, so that's kind of a good thing. We'll see what happens. With the Brandon meet moving to this past Tuesday, we're going for 2 weeks where we go Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. And we have homecoming. We're starting to get ready for that. The girls are going to be doing a hip hop dance at the homecoming game. So they got to start learning that and get practice for it. So it's really starting to pick up the pace and the momentum. Their classes are picking up. They're at midterms in the quarter. So we're just trying to keep ourselves grounded, balanced, trying to keep it as stress-free as we can. They were doing some work with their AP poetry this week, talking about they had some projects that they were working on and papers. We had a AP Chem test. With 7 seniors, I hear all this stuff, and we got 11 juniors. So we got a lot of upperclassmen that are doing those AP classes that, they're really getting a lot of information in and trying to manage it all. And then you throw the freshmen in that they have physical science. That's always hard for them too. So they're trying to get that balance. And so I'm there kind of as the teacher and the coach, like saying, how can I help you study for this? How can I help you? Can I get you organized? Do you need note cards? Can we do this? So it's kind of just a fun thing for me to experience with the girls. Hopefully they're doing well in their schoolwork. I do check up on their grades as much as I can. If they need extra help with something, I try to do that on the bus. When they get to the higher math stuff, even though I'm the math teacher, that kind of takes me for a loop. I have to think for a while, but it's the season is rolling. Hopefully we can just keep ourselves healthy, injury free, and just go with it. Take one meet at a time. But always in the back of our heads, we're always thinking to that end meet of the state tournament and what do we want to look like? I've been watching some film from the past state tournaments, and I talked to the girls this week about, like, you can see the passion in your dancing. Like, I want that passion projected at every meet, just not at the state tournament. So, and that's something that has to come from inside. So hopefully we're going to see that on Saturday in Brookings, and then we'll hopefully see it again in Huron next Tuesday. But yeah, we are busy right now.
Well, you love to see the camaraderie and just keeping busy, as you had mentioned. Looking forward to seeing how these 2 next meets work out for you, Coach. And we'll try to talk next week before you have another Saturday invite as well. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you bet.
Coach Stacy Reich and Yankton Competitive Dance. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner. Now, we'll keep it right here. And thank you to Coach Stacy Reich for joining us on the Pizza Ranch phone line Thursday for that interview. Yankton Competitive Dance and Cheer, they are at Brookings Invitational today, and that starts 5 minutes ago. So we are over time today. I apologize. But we're going to keep on trucking along here, and that wraps up our coaches. But as we do each week, we try to do each week, we have our YHS Nation, and what that is someone from here, usually our very own Brayton Butler, catches up with a Yankton High School activities director from a non-athletic activity, because we want to shine light on the arts and academia and things of that, journalism, things of that nature. And this week, Braden caught up with the new Waxahachie, the school newspaper, the head advisor of that, KYNT Ladwig. Yes, there is a relation. It's my wife. So he was able to catch up with her, and we'll go ahead and play that interview right now. This is YHS Nation. Braden Butler catching up with Mrs. KYNT Ladwig.
Welcome in for another edition of YHS Nation. I am Braden Butler. YHS Nation is a look in at the activities and events happening around Yankton High School in the upcoming week, as well as a more in-depth look at a specific activity in our weekly interview segment. Mrs. KYNT Ladwig is our interviewee this week, talking about the Waxahachie, as she is an instructor at Yankton High School. To have to use a different format when recording this interview as some audio issues meant the questions had to be redone in post, but we go to the interview now. Joining us this week on YHS Nation is Mrs. KYNT Ladwig, an instructor at Yankton High School, and she is entering her first year as the faculty leader for the Waxahachie, the student newspaper at Yankton High School. I first asked Mrs. Ladwig about the Waxahachie itself, what it is for those who may not be aware, the meaning behind the name Waxahachie, and what work has gone into the student newspaper so far.
All right, the Waxahachie is our school newspaper. So Yankton High School, since the beginning of time, has put out the Waxahachie. It's changed. Before it was just printed and distributed within the school. Now we partner with the Press and Dakota, and the first Tuesday of every month, the Waxahachie is published, and my journalism class, as well as my staff on the Waxahachie, put together articles, design, photography. We get a lot of pictures from the yearbook. They help us out a lot. That's a publication staff. But basically, the Waxahachie stands for the Wise Book. It's been called that for years and years and years, and it's an honor to be a part of this staff. Like you said, this is my first year, and I still haven't put out my first publication yet. The first publication goes out Tuesday, October 3rd, and we will run our Tuesday publications once a month, all the way until the end of the school year, until May. And so I guess that question, I can really tell you a little bit more about it after it's all said and done, but the hard work is still yet to come, so I can't really give you advice yet, but I spent all summer studying InDesign, all summer asking Mrs. Michelson, a previous Waxahachie advisor, questions. It's really, I'm learning by doing it as we go. So this will be exciting to have the first publication. My journalism class is hard at work, working every day. We just had some guest speakers, you included, come in, and we talked about journalism a little bit more. I have a meeting after school here. We're just starting to put together articles, write articles. The good stuff is yet to come. So in a couple of weeks, we'll see how real, what do the students call it? The grind is. Yes.
I then asked Mrs. Ladwig about how the Waxahachie's returning staff, as well as her journalism class, has helped her transition into the role.
I am really relying on the return staff members from last year. Colin Evans, he's a junior at Yankton High School. He is our Waxahachie editor, and I've really leaned on him a lot. All right, so what do you guys do for the first meeting? I don't want to completely come in and just change everything up. So it's been a learning experience. He's been great. We have 4 other returning members. We have gained 1 more this year. We could always use several people, but I think the key is my journalism class. They're kind of forced into it, but they have all really, really have gotten into it. I've been really, really happy and very lucky to have the people helping me who are helping me. So,
to wrap up the interview with Mrs. Ladwig, I asked her when the Waxahachie can expect it to be published and how parents or those interested in reading the student paper can find the Waxahachie.
So the Waxahachie published the first Tuesday of every month, October, November, December. We do not have a January issue due to Christmas break, but then it goes through May, and you can pick that up in the Yankton Press and Dakota. I am unsure of how the online transfers over. I know that in the past, previous advisors have saved it as like a PDF and kind of uploaded it to the Yankton High School website. I will try to do that. But yeah, just pick up your local copy of your Yankton Press and Dakota. I will obviously share it through the ThrillShare app that our Yankton High School blasts out to social media. So I will try to get as many people to look at it as possible. Yes.
Thank you once again to Mrs. KYNT Ladwig for talking to me about the Waxahachie, the student newspaper at Yankton High School. She seemed excited about year 1 in charge of that student newspaper, and I'm excited to see how the students and staff for the Waxahachie do throughout this year. Now here on YHS Nation, it's time to take a look at the Yankton High School activities calendar for the coming week. First high school events come on Tuesday, September 19th, and it's a busy day for Yankton High School. Bucks Golf has an invitational at Watertown Municipal Cattail Golf Course. Bucks and Gazelles Soccer have a varsity doubleheader against the Pier Governors on the road in Pier. Competitive cheer and dance are in a competition at Huron Arena. And Gazelles Volleyball is on the road as well as they take on Sioux Falls Lincoln. Jumping ahead now to Thursday, September 21st, girls tennis has a varsity triangular at Yankton High School. They host Harrisburg and Sioux Falls, Washington. Yankton Bucks and Gazelles Soccer are at home as they host West Central for a doubleheader. And Yankton Gazelles Volleyball at home as well as they host the Vermilion Tanagers at the Yankton High School gym. Yankton Cross Country will be in action as well as they host a competition at Fox Run Golf Course. 6 different schools are expected to make the trip to Yankton for that event. Friday night, September 22nd, Yankton Bucks football is on the road as they take on T-Area. And then next Saturday, the 23rd of September, competitive cheer and dance is a competition at Harrisburg High School. Bucks and Gazelles Soccer have a home doubleheader against Aberdeen Central, and Gazelles Volleyball will be on the road at Aberdeen Central High School. That does it for this week's edition of YHS Nation. Thank you for joining me. I've been Braden Butler.
All right, thanks to Braden and YHS Nation. I'll also wrap up the Coaches Corner here this morning. Thanks to all of our coaches that came in. It's been a long morning, but a lot of good conversation has been had. So thanks again to our coaches, their guests this morning, the sponsors, and thanks to you for watching or listening. I'm KYNT Sports Director and the voice of Yankton Athletics, Bryce Ladwig. Go Bucks, go Gazelles, and go enjoy the rest of your weekend. This has been the Coaches Corner.
FM 1021 and AM 1450, KYNT.